A week ago, I spent 6 days in Hong Kong and it was genuinely one of the best experiences of my life. I got to explore a completely new city, a new culture, and it was just crazy. But ever since I came back, I just can't stop thinking about Hong Kong. I'm talking about the city itself. So that's why I'll take you through my entire trip and show you exactly what I saw, what I thought, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is and why I can't stop thinking about it. Okay? So get ready to go to Hong Kong. So let's go back on June 3rd, on the day of my flight from Bangalore to Hong Kong. And oh my god, that day I had absolutely no clue how Hong Kong would feel like or be like. So I was just, excited. And it's been a while since I've been into a plane, so that was also a really good experience for me. I enjoyed in the Cathay Pacific flight, looked at the views, and we arrived at the airport. And the first thing that came was this beautiful huge cat which welcomed us. So I clicked a few photos over there and then went on, and oh my god, this airport, let me tell you, it was huge. And when I say huge, I mean it. Imagine, to go from one place to another, you had to use a metro. Now that, I'm not kidding, it was amazing. Like, the experience itself made me feel crazy, and honestly this metro was like super fast. I loved the experience of this. Also, back in my head, I was just thinking about how efficiently these people have designed the Hong Kong International Airport, how fast it is and how modern it looks. Plus, it has like several AI powered systems and autonomous vehicles going around outside. So it just felt really cool. But yeah, after leaving the airport, we headed straight towards our Airbnb in Tsim Sha Tsui. And honestly, I don't think I looked at my phone once during that ride because I was too busy staring outside the window. And I remember I was literally thinking, how many tall buildings does the city even have? And everything just felt so different from Bangalore. Like, the roads felt smoother, the traffic felt more organized, and the whole city just felt different. So after spending a few hours resting at our Airbnb, later that evening we headed out just to explore Hong Kong. And honestly, I remember I was just walking through the streets and observing everything around me. The signboards were all in Chinese, the streets felt crowded but not chaotic, and everything just felt different, okay? And eventually we made our way to Victoria Harbour, and honestly this ended up being my favorite part of the entire day. You'll see why in a second.
This is crazy. I'm at the Victoria Harbour in Hong Kong and I love the view over here. It's so good. And I'm about to go on a cruise right now. Like, in 5 minutes, I'll be in a cruise. And you guys, you have to see the view. It's awesome. Have a look. Wow.
And then we got onto the cruise. And honestly, I don't think I was prepared for how much I was going to enjoy this night. We were just looking at the city lights, enjoying the music, having the snacks. And I remember I was just wondering about how lucky the locals here are, because they get to experience this literally anytime. How cool would that be? Anyways, after that night got over, the next day was probably the most awaited day of that trip.
Hey! Where are we going?
We're going to Disneyland.
Let's go! Are you excited?
Yes.
Pretty excited.
Okay, so I'm here at Disneyland and I just spent the whole day here and I loved it. Like, it was seriously so magical, so pretty, so fun that I'd love to visit it again. Like, seriously. At first I was welcomed by, an amazing parade here with all the Disney characters. It was so fun to watch. but also had to wait a lot for it. And then we went on to have some really fun rides, which was honestly the best part of my day, I guess. And then we watched the Moana show, the Frozen show, and then finally, just like 15 minutes back, we had this amazing show, the night show of Disneyland. It was so good. I loved it. Like, you can literally see it, okay? And I had a pizza over here, which is not bad, but not good.
So, after enjoying every bit of Disneyland, the next day was something I was just as excited about, because we were finally going to Victoria Peak. To get there, we had to first take something called the Peak Tram. It basically takes you from the bottom of the mountain all the way to the top. And honestly, even that one ride, it felt like a crazy experience. It climbs at such a steep angle that everything outside almost looks tilted. But the moment we reached the top, it started raining. Definitely not the welcome we were hoping for. And since we couldn't go to the Sky Terrace yet, we decided to have lunch first. And honestly, this was probably the first proper local meal we'd had during the trip. I even tried eating with chopsticks, but let's just say it didn't go well. But yeah, we also grabbed some Fanta, and we noticed Madame Tussauds right next to us, and we thought, why not? I honestly didn't expect much from Madame Tussauds, but I ended up enjoying it way more than I thought I would. Because everywhere you'd look around, you'd find a famous public figure standing over there waiting to take a photo with you. Like, look at a few photos that I took. By the time we came out, the rain had finally stopped. This was the moment I had been waiting for the entire day.
Okay, this is crazy. I'm about to see the Victoria Peak. Oh my god, have a look at this.
Finally, I saw the peak view. Now, at this moment, I don't think words can fully explain what I was looking at. It wasn't just that the view was beautiful, it was something else. Like, I could see thousands of skyscrapers, mountains, water, city lights, and somehow all of this existed together in such a beautiful manner. I think this was the exact moment I had one question that was repeatedly coming into my mind. How exactly does a city like this even exist? I don't know, this was like one of those questions that was stuck in my mind while I was in the Victoria Peak, enjoying it all. So we took some photos over there, we stayed there for an hour, and after coming back down, we decided to end the day at a beach. There was barely anyone around in the beach. We were literally having the whole place to ourselves. And as we were walking along the shore, I noticed something strange. The water was glowing. I've seen videos like this online, and I was in that beach. I was fascinated. Like, we stayed there in the beach for an hour. I was just listening to the waves, feeling the breeze. It was just, such a perfect ending to a day that completely changed the way I was looking at Hong Kong. So after 3 days of constantly exploring Hong Kong, the 4th day turned out to be completely different. We had come back pretty late from the beach last night, so it was obvious for us to get up later than usual. And it was raining outside. I made myself a cup of coffee after I woke up. And for the first time during the trip, there wasn't really anywhere we had to rush to. It was just one of those slow, peaceful mornings. So our only real plan for the day was something I was actually really looking forward to. An authentic Chinese dinner with a local Chinese family. So after getting ready, we grabbed some ice cream nearby and headed towards the restaurant. Now, this wasn't one of those restaurants you'd normally find while searching best places to eat in Hong Kong. It was one of those restaurants that a local person would know of. So we knew a Chinese family living over here, and they had invited us for dinner. So it meant that we were about to experience the most authentic experiences of the trip. We sat in a circular table in a local restaurant. We were about to have a bunch of Chinese seafood, which included the giant fish, crabs, lobsters, roasted scallops, noodles, and honestly, it was the proper authentic Chinese meal I'd ever had, and it was really tasty. But if I'm being honest, the food wasn't actually my favorite part. It was the conversations. Now, neither of us knew each other's languages, right? But we used Google Translate, and somehow that didn't make the conversations awkward, but instead it made it very memorable. We spent the next few hours talking about Hong Kong, India, culture, movies, food, our interests, and so much more. We were just learning from each other, and it was super fun. Looking back, I think this was the first time I experienced Hong Kong through the people who actually live there, instead of just the places the tourists visit. And honestly, I think every trip deserves a day like this. So, after a slow and peaceful day, the next day we were back to exploring Hong Kong again. And honestly, this day was the most diverse day of the entire trip. We started the morning by heading to the Hong Kong Space Museum. The entire thing, it was a fun experience, and honestly, it was a great way to start the day. Now, after that, we headed to one of Hong Kong's temples, and honestly, we probably wouldn't have visited if it wasn't for the Chinese family we'd had dinner with the previous evening. They kept insisting that we should experience it at least once because it was such an important part of their culture. So, the moment we stepped inside, everything felt different. The architecture, the atmosphere, the traditions, everything reflected a completely different culture. And we also got to experience one of their prayer rituals, which made the visit feel much more meaningful than simply walking around and taking photos. After that, we grabbed lunch from a nearby temple mall, and then it was finally time for the place I had secretly been looking forward to, the Hong Kong Science Museum. And if you know me, you would already know why. Because I've always been fascinated by AI, the latest technology, innovation, and basically anything that gives you a glimpse into the future. So the moment I walked in, I knew that this was going to be my favorite part of the day. There was literally so much happening that I didn't even know where to look first. One moment I was exploring AI exhibits and future transportation systems. The next moment I was learning how self-driving cars actually work. Then suddenly I was looking at real dinosaur fossils that are millions of years old. A few minutes later, I was experimenting with interactive games, exploring nature exhibits, and walking through optical illusion mirrors while also looking through the future that they're showing over here. What I loved most wasn't even the tech itself, it was how interactive everything was. Every exhibit wanted you to touch something, test something, figure something out for yourself. And honestly, I think that's why I loved it so much. And by the evening, we headed over to Ladies Market. It's one of the most famous street markets in Hong Kong. And we went there to pick up a few souvenirs before heading home. So we bought things like tea, teacups, keychains, bags, fans, and a few gifts for everyone back home. And one thing I couldn't help noticing though, Hong Kong really was expensive. Like we found ourselves bargaining at almost every single shop just to get a reasonable price. But honestly, that also became a part of that experience. And looking back, I think this day gave me more questions than answers. Like in just one day, I went from learning about space to experiencing centuries old traditions to exploring futuristic technology to even bargaining in one of the busiest street markets in the city. Every place showed me a completely different side of Hong Kong. And somehow, instead of helping me understand the city, it only made me even more curious. And by this point, I could already tell that Hong Kong was becoming much more than just a place I would travel to. So it was finally our last day in Hong Kong. We woke up around late morning, got ready, had some breakfast, and headed straight to Ocean Park. This was the last place on our itinerary before catching our flight back to India that evening.
So we just had just a few hours left in Hong Kong and I wanted to make most out of it. Ocean Park is actually much bigger than Hong Kong Disneyland, but since we didn't have enough time to explore everything, we decided to visit its main attractions. The first animals we saw were the seals, and honestly, I was surprised by how huge their habitats were. They weren't just tiny tanks like I'd imagined. The enclosures were massive and they were connected to the ocean, which made the whole place feel much more natural. After that, we went to see the sharks. And yeah, it was my first time seeing real sharks in my life. It was honestly so cool watching them swim right in front of us. And then we headed straight up to the Arctic section. Now, by this point, it had started raining really heavily outside, and still we walked up into a place that was freezing cold because of the penguins. But honestly, it was totally worth it. I had only seen penguins in screens, so seeing them in real life was such a wholesome experience.
So many penguins are here. Look at that.
But yeah, after grabbing a quick lunch, we then went to see the pandas. But unfortunately, they had just gone back inside to sleep, so even after waiting for a while, they didn't come out. So we had to leave them. And the last stop was the dolphins. There was even a whole dolphin show happening, but unfortunately we couldn't stay longer because it was already time to leave for the airport. And just like that, our Hong Kong trip was over. On the drive to the airport, I remember looking out of the window almost the entire time, not because I was trying to film anything, but because I knew that these were going to be my last few moments in Hong Kong. I was looking at the roads, the buildings, the streets, and honestly, I was not ready to leave yet. There was still so much I wanted to do, like talking to more locals to understand the city beyond the places I had visited. But by the time we reached the airport, something felt different. When we had arrived here 6 days earlier, all I could think about was how excited I was for the trip. And now, I was leaving with a head full of questions. A few hours later, we landed back in India, but even after I got home, something felt unfinished. Because even though the trip was over, I couldn't stop thinking about Hong Kong. So, why can't I stop thinking about Hong Kong? Now, it was just a 6-day trip, right? Like, I should just, post few photos, talk about it to my friends and move on with my life, right? Yeah, but I can't do that right now because I've been observing Hong Kong way too much when I was there, and I had several questions popping up, and the prominent ones were like, why exactly does it have so many skyscrapers? How is it so expensive, and how is it so organized even though it's really crowded? Now, when I searched up, because I was really curious, I researched, I learned a lot about Hong Kong. I got to know that geographically, it's very tiny. It has very less land space. And I also found out that it has a population of about 7 million people. So imagine such a small land with so much population. How does Hong Kong even work? Well, that's exactly what's so fascinating about Hong Kong. Their land is extremely valuable because it's so little. So that's why buildings don't spread out but instead grow upwards. And because the land is limited, the property becomes extremely expensive. And that's exactly why everyday life costs way more than usual over there. And if it's that crowded, how exactly is it organized? That's because the government took it so seriously. To not afford to waste the space over there, it became extremely efficient. The public transport, the roads, and even the way the city was built, everything was systematically made because there was simply no other option. And I think that's so crazy because what looked like Hong Kong's limitation, it became its strength. It's such an extraordinary city, right? And honestly, I think that's like a little life lesson over there. most of us spend so much time wishing that our circumstances should have been better, and we should have lesser limitations. But Hong Kong became extraordinary because it worked. It learned to work with its limitation that it already had. So how about we apply the same thing to us? Instead of waiting for the perfect conditions, just adapt. Okay, I'm not here some guru giving you motivation and all. Don't think of any of that. These are all my observations. I just feel like it's a crazy life lesson that Hong Kong gave it to me. Like, I got a really different perspective. Those perspective shifts you get when you visit a different country. And I think this was my perspective shift. I went to Hong Kong thinking I'll remember all the attractions I went to, but rather I came back remembering something much bigger. Sometimes the things that look like your biggest limitations can actually become the reason you build something extraordinary. And that's the exact reason why I can't stop thinking about Hong Kong. Bye.